This is one of my go-to lenses. It is the Sony 1.8 85mm. This is a full frame lens, so it can fit on your full frame, but it can also fit on your crop sensor as well. So it has a 9-blade circular aperture. It has really good spherical aberration, so it's really nice for bokeh in the back. It can determine between the sharpness really well and the background, so you really get that smooth transition of foreground to background with this spherical aberration here. The physical features of this lens are pretty good for what you get for the price. You get obviously the autofocus to manual focus switch on the side, and you also get a customizable focus button. The focus ring is for digital. It doesn't stop. At one point it does go all the way around. I personally am used to using sign lenses and lenses that have manual focus only in like apertures. So for me to switch over to this is a pretty big step, but I actually don't mind it. The resistance is pretty good, and I actually feel pretty comfortable with manual focus on this lens. The filter diameter is 67. It's also water resistant and dust resistant. Now that doesn't mean that it's waterproof, but if there is like a light rain or it's a little dusty in your area, you can take this out and it would be pretty good. First, now I'm going to tell you about the cons of the lens and the pros of the lens and what I think that if you should get it or not. First, let's start off with the cons. So like what I said before, it's water resistant and dust resistant, but that doesn't mean that it's waterproof. So if it is heavily raining, or if you drop this in some water for a while, it will ruin it, so just be careful of that. One of the major cons of this is its minimal focus length. The minimal focal length of this lens is 2.63, which is a pretty big gap, so don't expect to use this for food photography or like really close product photography. This would be more of like a studio or outside portrait shoots. Alright, there is no body stabilization inside of this. However, the motors paired with the A7 series, it does create a steady shot, and honestly, I usually film handheld anyways. Here's some footage of that. It's really not that shaky, it's not that bad. You can probably just fix it in post, honestly. Okay, so that's pretty much for the cons. Here are the pros. One of my favorite things about this lens is how compact and small it is. Honestly, when I first bought this, I thought that it was going to be like, oh, really cheap plastic, that's why it's so cheap, that's why it's so small. But no, it's actually really good quality. I feel like that I could throw it across the room and it would do just fine. One of the big things is that it's affordable. I paid around 800 Canadian for this, which is I think like around 650 or 700 USD. So with all like the specs that it comes with and how lightweight it is and how compact it is, the price is definitely worth it. The focusing system is actually surprisingly quiet. For the autofocus, I usually do eye autofocus and such when I do photos, and it's pretty quiet actually. I haven't heard any complaints. I haven't really heard the motor all that much. Like I can feel the vibration, but you can barely hear it. Alright, should you get this lens? I definitely recommend it. For the kind of work that I do like night street photography and dark moody kind of videos and pictures. So the 1.8 did definitely scare me at first, but it actually held up really well. And I'm really surprised with the detail that it can capture. It's a very sharp lens, and again, it is my go-to lens. So yeah, overall this is a really great lens, and I definitely recommend it. But in the meantime, feel free to subscribe, like, comment down below what you think of this lens. Do you have any cons or pros about it? What's your experience with it? And also let me know, like, if there anything else that you'd like me to review. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day. And yeah, thanks for watching.